is Masha.
Girl, turn your shit down. You know America, that shit, you're bumming up the area. Looking for your Instagram, looking for a pentagram. All I say is
Hello? My name is Masha, and I am single. So I was sitting with my girlfriends, and we were talking about what kind of man we would like to meet. And I said, I really want to meet a man who has teeth. Eyes and nose, I'm not so particular about, but he has to have teeth. Because a few years ago, I was dating this man. He was a wonderful man. But any time he would bite on an apple, his artificial jaw would fall out. And we had to run to the dentist to glue it back. So after 2 years of running back and forth to the dentist, he married the dentist. You say why I want a man with teeth? Not all his own teeth, let's be realistic here, but at least some. But these handsome men who have teeth, they are sometimes trouble. Last year, I was dating the German guy, Thomas. Very handsome guy with beautiful teeth, with some hair, eyes, nose, everything. And we made love. And then he tells me, Masha, I don't think it's going to be a big love between us. I said, what? No big love. Can it be like small love or like medium-sized love or something? He says, I'm afraid not. And I say, but what's the problem? And he says, well, Masha, how should I put it? You are beautiful. You're smart. And then I see he cannot really say it, but then he says it. And he says, but you're really, really bad in bed. And I say, who, me? Bad in bed? That's not possible. I had all these lovers. They didn't have teeth, but they had vigor. And he says, Masha, a woman in bed with a man, she should sometimes move. I say, move? Move? No, that's not what my mother told me in 1989 when we had this birds and bees conversation. And Thomas asked, so what did your mother tell you? I say, well, my mother told me I should just close my eyes and think of the Soviet Union. He says, why Soviet Union? I say, well, it was 1989. We thought the Soviet Union will last forever and I will get married the next year. He says, what? You still think of the Soviet Union every time you have sex? I say, no, of course not. That would be so stupid. Of course I don't think of the Soviet Union anytime I have sex. I sometimes think of other friendly socialist countries. Czechoslovakia. People's Republic of North Korea. Yeah. And he says, no, they're just wrong. They're just wrong. I'll give you my porn collection and you will learn how to do it. And he gives me a flash drive and I go home and I put it into my computer and I start watching that. And I try to imitate it. And I do the movements. And I do sounds. I do, and I go, and I go, and somebody's banging at my door and shouting, "Are you sick or are you just constipated?" And I open my door, and there is my neighbor, the doctor, Jonas. He's a wonderful doctor. He's a pathologo-anatomist. He's very interested in my inner world, and I promise him my body. What do you guys want? It's almost like doing porn. Back, forth, here. Okay, well, okay. So anyway, that's how it went with Jonas as well. So he says, "Are you constipated?" I say, "I'm not constipated." He says, "Well, if you're still constipated, tomorrow I'll give you a pill." And I never felt so misunderstood in my life. And I thought that maybe I'm just way too sophisticated for all that erotica. And I decided just to write an advert in Tinder. A lady is looking for a gentleman with his own teeth to close our eyes together and think of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Thank you. And please welcome Astra.